2020's social justice movement felt like a turning point for us all. So if it raised some big questions about your education, career, and even how you live your life, you're not alone. To better understand how everyone's feeling a year after the George Floyd protests began, we invited 3 high school seniors, Steven, Serena, and Yenifer, to look back and talk about how the 2020 movement affected them at such a pivotal time in their lives. Let's explore the kinds of questions the social justice movement raised for them and show you how to continue the work and tackle what comes next.
With everything that happened in May and June, how did you guys handle it?
It was a little scary because ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be a police officer. So just seeing everything that was happening with police brutality and stuff like that, it kind of scared me because I really, at that point, didn't really want to be a cop anymore. It was kind of I see everything that's happening and it was do I really want to be in that little category when I get older?
For Steven, seeing the problems in policing brought up a very real conflict as he was trying to figure out his next step after high school.
This year, my motivation kind of went down. And I've always wanted to be like NYPD. I feel with everything that's been happening, it's shaped me a lot. I said I wanted to be a police officer, but with the whole police brutality and the protesting, that's when I started, second guessing it, because you would see how, certain people are hateful. You would see how certain people are, compassionate. But, it showed a whole disconnect. And even if you're a good cop, it's still, hard now. And I don't want it to be when I get older, it's still the situation. And it just brought a lot of things to light with the protest. Craziest thing or the most different I could do is become a lawyer.
The good news is, if 2020 changed your career goals, you can still pivot around your interests. And Steven's already on the right track by thinking about other paths that could let him create the same kind of change. To show anyone out there like Steven what's still possible for the future, we turn to someone who was once in a similar situation. Attorney Santiago Duarte spent years working as a corporate recruiter, but as an immigrant, he always wanted to do something more to help his community. And ultimately, he pivoted into immigration law.
That bug to be a lawyer, it's in the back of your head that you can't scratch, right? And so you're right? And I said to myself, you gotta do it, put up or shut up, as they say, right? It is now or never. And so I said, all right. I'm not gonna get overwhelmed. I'm not gonna think about the bar because that's 200 years from now. Or how difficult this is gonna be and how I'm not smart enough. So my idea was this. I'm gonna take this thing once. And if I'm good enough to make it, I'll make it. Right? If I don't make it, then I tried, which is important, right? I gave it all I could, all in. So took the LSAT. I did fine enough to go to law school. Follow your gut. If your gut tells you, that's not probably where I need to go, then you should probably not go.
Santiago's story is important because it shows that there's always time to take a new fork off of your current path. Whether you're just graduating high school or you're deep into your career, if you want to make a change, you just have to take that first step. But you don't have to pivot just to pivot either. 2020 put doubt into a lot of our plans. So just try to remember why you were on your path in the first place.
You could also try to work within the system to make sure that it's not going to continue to happen.
Nah, yeah, I agree. I feel if you really want to change something, you have to do it within. If you're working in the system and you're trying to change things, you're more prone to actually making a change than you outside.
I had to learn how to use my voice to speak up for myself. So I think definitely I am a leader. That's one of the things I would describe myself as, an activist. It takes courage to speak about certain situations and just stand up for yourself, stand up for others.
For Serena, the social justice movement was an opportunity for education. And as she made it through 2020, she found a new passion for educating others through journalism.
The school district that I was in, and my school in general, it just felt like we were being silenced and we couldn't talk about Black Lives Matter. We couldn't be talking about George Floyd. It was sort of just a disgraceful topic to talk about. I think definitely then is when I started writing a lot, journaling a lot, just saying what I felt needed to be said. Going on social media, speaking my mind, having people be yeah, I agree with this, and having them jump on board about what we want to do about it.
Serena's got it exactly right. Above all, if this work makes you happy, you should pursue it. And if you found your voice in 2020, use it, because you can make a difference through sharing stories and experiences. To prove it, we talked to producer Effie Brown, who's known for bringing underrepresented stories to the big screen, with work including Real Women Have Curves and Dear White People.
Why I do it is because I think that we need to be heard, and I think that the world can be saved through stories. I think that, it sounds super simple, but I really and honestly believe that we can solve the world problems through storytelling, because once you humanize each other in a story, it's harder for you to rape them, it's harder for you to murder them, it's harder for you to keep them in poverty. You start to see them, the others, as yourself, right? It's all based if I'm not gonna have enough and you have too much, or I'm gonna take what you got. So if everybody's everyone chill out, no one's out to get you, per se, but we are out to get ours, right? And let's do it together. There's gonna be some adjustments for you, baby. There is, but this is what's about to, this is what's about to happen. And right now, we have been overly indexed in white male dominant culture. So that's why it's so important for me of wherever there is the other. Do you know what I mean? I'll be what do you need? I will amplify your voice, whether it being doing an interview like this, whether it's speaking my truth that might not be popular, whether it's producing their movies or hooking up or growing a producer, because God knows we need people. And you don't, until somebody teaches you how to do it, you don't know how to do it.
If you found your voice or found a new platform during 2020, take advantage of it. Keep asking yourself, what kinds of stories can I tell? How can I educate others? And whose voices can I uplift? Because like Effie says, the world can be saved through stories.
The forefront of this generation is activists, but I feel like some of our generation is still very scared to be vocal on something because of the older generation. But I definitely think that people have become more vocal. They're not afraid to speak on it.
When you stand with it and you advocate your voice, I feel like it's helping others as well as helping you. And in other generations, they were more close with each other, their skin color, their ethnicity or their race. And I feel now we are more joint. If we're friends, we're friends, And I feel that's really good, because as you have friends that are either that race or that ethnicity, you tend to actually speak up for them and this and that, because the reason being that people that it's affecting.
For Yenifer, 2020's social justice movement felt like it was a long time coming, but she still thinks there's much more work to do.
Seeing this discrimination is not something out of the extraordinary, it's kind of normal. You're either in the store and speaking Spanish and somebody just comes up to you and be this is America, you have to speak English, or go back to your country. We have gotten used to it, so we see it as normal, but other people don't see it as normal when they come here. And it's just kind of sad that we have come to this society where we see those calling us and discriminating us as normal. In a way, we have gotten far, but we're not where we're supposed to be. Because in the Black Lives Matter movement, a lot of people stood up together with everybody and they actually got something done. And it was just very motivational that, we have the power to do something if we actually want to change something.
When you're working toward change, the process can be painfully slow, but change is possible. And owning your identity, as Yenifer does, can help you better connect and empathize with others and create a better world for your community. For journalist Jose Antonio Vargas, he hid his status as an undocumented American for much of his professional life. But as he saw more and more discrimination being aimed at immigrants, he decided he had to step up, own his identity, and create new paths to change.
I like to say that our job is to take immigration out of this box that people have put it in and make it broader and make it more accessible. Immigration is the most controversial yet least understood issue in America. I think it is always important to first and foremost lead with your heart, and that means listening, right? Then after you listen and you process, it's really, really important, and you owe it to yourself to claim your space. And that means silence is never an option.
So, what can we all take away from these conversations? And if you're ready to change paths or find work that continues the movement, you can start taking small steps to get there. If you feel like the movement helped you discover your voice, use it. And if you felt stirred by the social justice movement, act on it. Claim your space. Because as we continue to press on after 2020, one thing is clear. This is a special time. It's your chance to make a change for your generation and for the rest of the world. If you want to hear more stories of how students across America are navigating life right now, check out our new website, Possible Dreams, Possible Paths. The link's in our description. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more career and life advice every Tuesday.